Let's move on. LAPD officers have begun patrolling the streets with body cameras for the first time ever, but some rights groups are not too happy about it.
Los Angeles is now the largest city in the United States to equip local police with body cameras.
Officers will be allowed to review the footage before filing their reports.
President Obama and the Attorney General see body cameras as tools to increase transparency and accountability.
Giving officers a special advantage of looking at the video before they make a statement just betrays that principle.
Does it betray that principle? Curtis, cops now have the body cameras, but they can review the footage before they write the report, or before giving internal statements, giving statements to those internal investigators.
Well, first off, each police department have their nuances, but when you talk LA, you're talking robo-cops. These men and women are impervious to human sentimentality. They always got the shades on, they're always buffed, you know, like Estrada, remember, in Chips, you know. They're not real cops. I call them faux cops.
So they're no good cops in LA?
No, that's why you need to keep a camera on them 24/7.
You don't trust them at all?
I never trust them. They locked me up 76 times, cops in general. You need to film everything they do, including when they're pounding donuts on the Dunkin' Donuts line, and you don't let them review a film. Are you going to let a cop review a film? Let them review their notes that they can't even read. You know, that looks like a prescription written by a doctor at a pharmacy. Do not let them look at the film and then let's just say, cultivate their testimony.
But the footage is an objective record of what happened.
No. Yeah, that's like Bill Clinton saying to his secretary, remember, I want to refresh your memory, right? Yeah, refresh your memory so that you can alter it and you can move it in a different direction. No. They should have the memory intact.
Julie?
Period.
I don't agree that they should have the memory intact. I think that these situations, that police officers coming, you know, violent situations, I think your memory isn't always a good source of information. I think that reviewing the tape will help you to create a much more accurate report.
Also, the cop has the first option of maybe altering the narrative because maybe the picture can't tell the whole story.
But they can't alter the tape. They can't alter the tape. And I think as long as policies are in place that they can't alter the tape, anyway, change it, I think that in order to write a more accurate report, they should be allowed to review it.
You know, we saw that instance in Charleston, South Carolina, when the officer shot the man in the back and it was captured on video.
Yes.
Somebody else was filming it, attempting to change the scene. We're not going to have that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Which plays into his point, Curtis's point, that sometimes cops lie.
Yes.
They try to alter the scene of the crime.
This is the problem inherently, is that you have to add an extra level of trust to law enforcement when a lot of people, the initial level of trust is not there. So hopefully the idea of having a camera on you will affect the decisions you make before you actually do something. However, if you're in a situation where you've got a videotape and you can digitally manage it, I mean, it's 2015. You can do a lot of stuff to video that you couldn't do.
But they don't. They don't have Final Cut Pro on their laptops, and they're not going to go and edit it.
Well, then what's the point of having the video? I mean, if you're not going to have professionals there to analyze stuff with professional stuff?
Professionals are going to analyze it, but the cops can't alter it.
You don't know that, and this is what people's concern is. I mean, is that if you're going to leave the decision up to the people who are most responsible for it, obviously things are going to have to go in their order if there's a situation.
It's the equivalent of a lineup, and I've been before many lineups when I've been shot or stabbed. You get one look only.
Right.
You either pick the right guy or guys, or that's it. You don't get a chance to look at mug shots beforehand or review any kind of film. And that makes it fair and square. It's based on your memory, whatever is intact. Sure, you'd love to refresh your memory, but I think that gives a distinct advantage to the cops. And they know collusion better than people in the streets because it's the blue wall of silence. They don't drop dime on one another. You know, in the streets, it's snitches get stitches and end up in ditches. So when's the last time you saw a cop drop dime on one another?
Do they deserve to have the camera as a supervisor rather than just this sort of objective witness to an interaction?
As long as it's always running. I don't want to give them permission to turn it on and turn it off because then obviously it's to their advantage. Let the camera always run. At the end of the day, then you can start the film all over.
I think they only turn it on when they actually, I could be wrong, but I think they are instructed to only turn it on when they start engaging with another person.
Yes.
Different departments, different departments have different policies. I know where I live in D.C., there was a big concern that if you were filming everything, it would create too much work. as far as reviewing all of the tape.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who were on the other side of it said, well, hey, that's work we need to do. If that work saves one life or if that work prevents one robbery, so be it. That's just a new part of policing.
Don't law enforcement officers, given the nature of the badge, the prestige of the job, don't they deserve a certain amount of...
Don't forget about the gun.
The gun too.
The critical part to this
There's some
scenario.
good cops out there.
Yeah, I'm not
Don't they
debating that part.
deserve some level of trust that, hey, you know, you're a civic servant here. You're doing a job to keep us safe. We trust your narrative.
Right, but listen to what you're saying. What would be the purpose of the cameras at all if that level of trust was already there? I mean, it almost contradicts itself to say, oh, well, yeah, we're going to have cameras, but you need to let us review them first. That's the whole point of the cameras.
This will validate a good cop, whether it's male or female, out, or partners who are out. This will say, yeah, they did the right thing. But it'll flush out the road cops.
Right.
You know, the cowboy cops, of which I've run across. And nobody internally in the department rats out a cowboy cop. So if all of a sudden, like we saw in the great case in Baltimore, where it's alleged the driver of the police wagon took him on a rough ride, you didn't hear anyone else chime in and say, yes, he did not. They all went to their union delegates. They took the code of omerta, and they're not saying nothing
So
because
you think
the defense attorneys got them in wraps.
You think the ACLU should keep pushing until cops lose that right to review the footage?
Yeah, so
I'm
not going to give anybody. I don't want the victim to have an opportunity to. I don't want anybody. I want you to just, based on your knowledge of the situation, and let the facts indicate what happened.
Okay, we have run out of time. This was fascinating. Thanks so much, everybody. Clinton Yates, Julie Gunlock, and Curtis Sliwa. Thank you very much for your time. Straight ahead.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.